Mom, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright. We get started. I'm gonna play all this video.
This is Dabu 7. We have a state of emergency in North Carolina now, connected to the situation with these electric substations. We still have tens of thousands of people in the dark, and a curfew underway after these two electric substations were apparently shot in a targeted attack. So they're saying that the school remains closed there, schools in Moore County, that they'll update later this evening on when they're going to reopen. But they're not expected to have power back until Thursday now. Law enforcement agencies have not identified a suspect or a motive. They held this press conference saying that they feel like this was definitely targeted. They said that it was not random, while pouring cold water on unsubstantiated rumors that it was connected to the Southern Pines drag show that was supposed to take place on Saturday. There's speculation flying around that, but that's all that it is at this point, without any other proof or evidence connecting someone to it. Now, they're saying that this is a serious incident. They go on to call the people that did this cowards because no one has claimed responsibility. They go on to say that this is going to cost millions of dollars to get the equipment replaced and back up and running. And they will let folks know as soon as possible when restoration has been put into motion fully. And I've got some other images here I wanted to share with you here real quick. Just shows the crime scene, so to speak. It was one of these substations like right here. And you can see here on the back end that they tore down the fencing, breaking into this area, and then proceeded to shoot up the place to cripple it. So this was an attack for those that couldn't wrap their head around it. And yes, it was shot up. And I'll have more details on Twitter as I get them. Make sure to follow me there and hit that subscribe button for more. This has been Dabu 7. Much love, y'all.
My breath is back to normal, gums back to normal. I didn't have to do any rigorous surgeries or anything crazy. So basically,
there was a targeted attack. In Moore County on the power grid. You know, with what. And now they're in the dark and under curfew. What I think is it was like I speak as a man. I think it was a test run for what I'm about to bring out, what they're about to roll out, how the people are going to react, right? About to bring it out.
Self. King of Israel.
I believe this is what they're about to do. Project Zyphyr.
Hello everyone, this is David Kohlberg again. This is probably going to be one of my most important videos that I've done yet. We're going to discuss a couple of things, new things that have come up. I have received classified documents from my White House insider, and we also have some memos that I've referenced in the past, and I'm going to walk through everything that I've been deciphering and learning from these videos, from the documents that I've received. So, we'll get into this. The crux of it, I want to just introduce you right away. What is it all about? This is it. This is what the documents reveal. There are too many people waking up. There are too many Americans, more and more of them, that are suspicious of Israel. More and more Americans aware of Zionism. This has been around for decades and decades. You go back to the 50s, 60s. There's a lot of literature about Zionism, about Judaism. It's not unusual, but the difference is today, more and more people are waking up to it. It's been a real tipping point where you always had maybe about 0.5% of the population that was aware of Zionism, that did not like Jews and whatnot, but they were never part of the mainstream. They were always dismissed as conspiracy theorists. They had no influence. So they were not really a threat. But that has changed. And you know that has changed. Anyone paying attention knows that has changed. We have seen a big change in comment sections on YouTube, many people making references to Zionism. It has become a part of the nomenclature through the influence of 8chan, 4chan, many websites, and ultimately many YouTube channels that have been speaking the truth very aggressively for many years, but it has really gotten attention lately. It is somewhat of a cumulative effect, a snowball effect, where more and more people start to wake up to the truth and the facts, and it just expands. And people become more accepting of it, and they start to say, okay, it's okay for me to look at the information. I'm not an anti-Semite for looking at it. And it really starts to click for people. So this has been a big change in the recent past few years. What happened is that Israel, its agents, its propagandists, have been paying very close attention to this over the past few years. They know this is happening. They are very concerned about it. We are talking about 0.5% of Americans who have some idea of Zionism and they're against it and they understand it. That number, according to these documents, is now about, I saw two numbers. They said 15%, and another one said 7%, but that is a very large number of Americans that have woken up to what's going on with Israel and Zionism and the Israeli lobby and the influence. They're unafraid to hate Israel. That number is very high, and it has them very concerned. This is much of what the classified documents talk about, but we'll get into that more. I wanted to set it up for you so you actually understand what this is really about. What I was given from the White House Insider. The main part that you really need to know, though, is they have a plan for all of this. So I'm going to talk about that now. There is discussion within these documents years ago to ban the YouTube channels, to shut it down, all of that. But they changed course. They made a decision to do something completely different. And they decided, instead of censoring everything, to fund and promote gatekeeper channels, shill channels, to simply gather and collect all the open-minded people who are looking at the issue. And they did shut down some of the legitimate channels, and that has actually happened. If you're following some of that, you are aware that there have been channels that have been shut down, almost completely eliminated. Some of those channels were not a part of the original gatekeeper channels. They have no connection. They are truth-telling channels. Some of those they've eliminated. that they felt were a threat or that might be calling out the gatekeeper channels. So, I'm just looking through some of the documents here and seeing what I want to talk about next. One really interesting aspect of all this is that the gatekeeper channels and the shill channels, typically these would be disinfo channels. Disinfo channels like Alex Jones, for example, has been a long time disinfo Zionist channel. Very, very active in deflecting people away from Zionism. Alex Jones talks about everything, but he never talks about Israel. So that is an active disinfo channel that's been around forever. What they created with these new gatekeeper channels is very truthful channels. They're very honest. They don't put out a lot of disinfo. They are actually legitimate. And that is done to give them credibility among these people who are awake, who are waking up. That was very specifically done, the documents to talk about that. Now I'm going to talk about what is the purpose of the whole operation. And the purpose of this is to put out truthful channels, to attract people to them. They call it tag, track, and ID. It is a term used throughout the documents, TTID. It's something you want to remember. This is very common throughout these documents. They refer to it all the time. So what does that tell you? They want to tag, they want to track you, and they want to identify who you are. If you are watching these channels, if you are informed, if you are awake on these issues, they want to tag you, they want to track you, and they want to know exactly who you are. They want to know, and it talks about the tracking people's IP addresses through YouTube. They have access to YouTube. They do know who you are. So this is discussed a lot in the documents. I'm just looking through it right now. And there are two projects, and it's very important to listen to this. Project Pogo is one of them, and Project Zyphyr. I will spell that one. ZYPHR. Project Pogo and Project Zyphyr are the two projects that the classified documents are referring to, and each has a different role. Project Pogo is about the YouTube gatekeepers, how they are all agents. They're all paid to put out truthful information so that they can tag, track, and ID the people that are watching the videos and giving them likes and giving them comments. They're tracking all of it. Project Zyphyr is a different project, and that's what I'll talk about in a bit. That is the second stage here. That is coming up. And that is the extermination. They're going to exterminate these people, whether it is tag them for anti-Semitic speech, charge them with crimes, eliminate them completely, and this is where I'll talk about in the documents where they talk about guillotines, viral attacks, targeted, how they're going to eliminate these people without too much suspicion, without too many people noticing. But here's the problem. As I read the documents, I can see I have documents from 4 years ago, I have documents from 2 years ago, and then I have documents from 3 months ago. So there's a progression in the timeline as the projects change. And Project Zyphyr has changed. In the beginning, they were talking a lot about, okay, we are going to infect these people with a virus that imitates the flu virus. They're going to eliminate them in various ways that would not be suspicious. In the documents I have now from 3 months ago, they are saying the amount of people they have to eliminate is too large. It is too many. We are talking about millions of Americans. And this is where we see their plans are changing. And they are going to initiate something that is devastating and that is extremely frightening. And based on what I can see in the documents, we're talking about power outages along with a purge. They're going to come in, they're going to take you out of your home, and they're going to put you into a military vehicle or whatever, a van, and drive you away and place you into a camp. It is a very, very big operation that they're planning. It is millions of Americans. They will do it under the cover of night, under the cover of blackness, during one of these planned blackouts. The blackouts are, based on documents I'm just looking at it right now, they have a 3-day blackout, they have a nationwide blackout that lasts 2 days, and a lot of localized blackouts. So it is a whole series of blackouts that they're going to do, and of course it will be blamed on.
That's the connection.
All kinds of things. They might blame it on Iran. I have seen that mentioned in the documents. They've already prepped people for this. There are going to be more blackouts. They're already predictive programming, so we may see more of this as we go on. As far as I can tell from Project zyphyr, they are planning this next year and the year after. They are not done tagging, tracking, and identifying everyone. It looks like they're at about 78%. I looked in the documents, and there were a couple of indications of far along they feel in the project is. They're like 78% done, but they're not completely done. It does take time to identify a YouTube account and then track it to the email that it was created with and then the IP address and then find out who created it. It does take them a lot of time to do that. It is not instant. It does take a lot of research because a lot of people create a YouTube account with an email address that doesn't give any indication of who they are, an account name that doesn't have their full name on it. They don't use their real pictures. So it is a challenge for them, and that's why the project has been going on for so long. But it is coming to a close. In the next 6 months to a year, it appears it is coming to a close, and that is when Project zyphyr will be initiated. So I have some notes here. I'm going to continue on, talk a little bit more about.
They've been talking about blackouts, about a dark winter too. You have to think. Yeah, they've been talking about blackouts that are gonna happen. They've been talking about dark winter. And it could literally mean a dark winter as well. And now you see what's going on in North Carolina. They say that was a targeted attack, and it was even though it was a criminal action or whatever, it was a targeted attack. And they said, like this Amalekite, like he said, they could blame it on anything. So this could be a test run, more than likely a test run, but it could also be the start of it. Operation zyphyr.
Right, they're being tracked, they're being identified. That's the whole point. A lot of people have said, well, why are some of these YouTube channels allowed to exist? Why are they allowed to so openly talk about the truth? And some of you might know Adam Green, No More News, and there are a whole bunch of others, and they're very, very open about Zionism, and they're very honest about it, and they're telling the truth. I mean, they are telling the truth. They're not hiding anything. They're not disinfo. They're not putting disinfo out there. But as far as I know, they're all a part of this operation. I can't say specifically if Adam Green is a part of it or not, but I would assume possibly he is. He has probably been guaranteed a lot of money. He's probably been promised a lot of things. He could be a Freemason, he could be a part of their operation, he could be an agent. I don't know, I have no idea. It is total speculation on my part. I have no idea. All I know is this is part of the operation, what they want to do. His channel would fit into the MO. It is an example I'm giving. He is there to tag, track, and ID. Not him specifically, but the people behind the operation who are doing all the research and all the people who are commenting and viewing and liking. They want to know who they are, they want to know where they live, and they are going to eliminate them at a date in the future. Completely eliminate them. This is going way beyond the idea of passing laws to ban speech, which they're already doing. They've done it in America already, but not very aggressively, and we will see more legislation of that nature. But they want to completely eliminate these people because they do stand in the way of the agenda. There are too many people that are waking up. It is way too many for them to handle. They're starting to have an influence, and they're starting to change the conversation online. It is of grave concern to Israel. Something that the memos that I received, we'll talk a little bit about the memos. The memos are different from the classified documents. The memos are White House internal memos that discuss a wide range of things in terms of Trump's meeting with rabbis, discussions with Netanyahu over the phone. And one of the memos says that Donald Trump will have to declare himself king of Israel publicly. This is part of the process for them.
Alright, so anyways, you get what get the whole point. You know, and this was during Trump administration, but Biden, he's a puppet as well. And hey, man, wouldn't be surprised if this was a test run for Operation Zyphyr, for Project Zyphyr. And you know, because these devils, they know that their time is short and they're about to roll. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. You know, these devils, you know, they're getting ready to roll. And we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verses 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know, be not ignorant of anything. In the great matter or small, Ecclesiasticus 5 verse 15. And so we know these devils are gonna roll. They're gonna come down upon us with great wrath. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden under foot. Verse 70. For there shall be in every place, and in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh. Verse 71. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. verse 73. You know, Avery, before I get into that, yeah, man. They gonna be like madmen, sparing none. They're gonna take away their goods. They shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, man. And you see, you got these Obama executive orders from 2012. National Defense Preparedness executive orders that authorize them to do this. And now you have this Project Zyphyr. Yeah, Project Zyphyr. Project Pogo, them gathering names for the people that they're gonna put in the FEMA camps. The red list, or red and blue list, or the black list. And then you're gonna have the yellow list, those that don't know, you know, your average 2/3 Israelite or your average Joe Schmo Edomite that don't know, which we only care about our people. The majority, you 2/3, you know. Well, a lot of y'all they're gonna do away with as well, but you 2/3, you know, you're gonna fold. Cause you don't, cause only the elect gonna endure. You're gonna fold or get folded up, cause only the elect are gonna endure. You know, then shall be known who are my chosen, verse 73, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. You know, that's why it says in verse 74, Hear, O ye, my beloved, saith Yahweh, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Verse 75, Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for power Yahweh is your guide. Verse 76, And the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts saith, Yahweh power, let not your sins weigh you down, let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Because when these devils roll, and they will, when these devils roll, Isaiah 59 and 19, verse 20 is the answer, as well as another verse that I'm going to bring out. But let me get this one. Isaiah 59, verse 19. So they shall fear the name of Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Because they're going to fear the Son's name as well. From the west in his glory, from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Verse 20, And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith Yahweh. That Redeemer is Yahweh Shai, and he's gonna raise that standard. Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them in that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as powers, as the angel of Yahweh before them. Verse 9, And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. As it damn sure ain't talking about them small hat motherfuckers over there in our land. It's talking about the true Israelites. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as you speckled birds whose ancestors were scattered among the heathens, you know, to the four corners of the earth. y'all are scattered among the other nations, as well as talking about y'all as well, Jerusalem, who were the inhabitants of Jerusalem at the time of Zechariah. So there you have it. Let me get, even for those that are the dead in Hamashiach, those that are destined to be martyrs, that witnesses that die for this truth, it's gonna be all right. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 16, for Yahweh himself, for Yahweh Shai himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of power Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Verse 17, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the air, the clouds, to meet Yahweh Shai in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahweh Shai. Verse 18, wherefore come for one another with these words. Because if you endure until the end, you're not going to be hurt of the second death. Revelation 12:2 verses 11. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Overcome what? He that overcometh what? Verse 10, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. We're going to be faced with either, well, the ones that are deemed a threat, they still going to try us. You have a chance to get out of this. Just take the RFID chip. Just take the RFID chip and you can get out of this. That's that hour of temptation. That's Revelation 3:10. Well, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And you can see with that Neuralink being pushed, you can see, and these brain implants being pushed, you can see that it's close. Verse 11, behold, I come quickly, hold thou fast that which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Verse 12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, Yahweh, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon the name of my power, Yahweh, and the city of my power, Yahweh, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, Yahweh, and I will write upon them my new name. Verse 13, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. The elect, the gatherings, the ecclesia in Greek, gathering. Gathering of what? The elect. But with that, I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, Salutations to the Akim out there, spread this truth like wildfire, in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. Shalom, stay strong, Abba Ball. We almost out of here. Hey, Abba Ball, dead to Babylon, Abala, Adawamium, dead to the Edomites, Abala Gawayim, dead to the other nations, these heathens, Abala Abad, and dead to Ayab Yamnawa, dead to our enemies. The rest of them being you 2/3 of you so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you speckled birds here in the States as well, or you Israelite foreigners, speckled birds, aka Israelite foreigners here in the States, as well as 2/3 of well, they're like the 2/3, but the 2/3 are talking about you wicked Israelites here in the States versus the rebels that were scattered among the four corners of the earth, among the Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth, and among you Israelites, you natural Israelites, you so-called black people, you natural-looking Israelites, you so-called, well, you original-looking, as original as possible, looking Israelites, you typical-looking Israelites, you so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans that don't live in the States, the wicked Israelites that are scattered among y'all, the rebels. You know, y'all got death coming to y'all as well. He's gonna purge out the rebels. Shalom, stay strong. Yashrala forever. Wah, Ababa, so like, I'm trying to stop this, hold on. I know what I have to do. Stop this live.